Welcome back. Well, yes, that is what we're focusing on next. And as you see, two gentlemen joining us. Senator Saidu Dansadao is the national chairman, the National Rescue Movement. He was a senator, two-time senator representing Zamfara State. And then we also do have Nyaitok Ezekiel, who is the Director General, Nigeria First Project. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining us today on the program. Senator, let me start with you. Haven't seen the plans going on. I mean, yes, people have an idea of what you want to do. That report sheds some light on some of them. But don't you think that you're in a race against time? I mean, you've been a senator. You know the structure that was in place that delivered you. You know when they had the primaries. You know those preliminary things that happened and when they happened. So compare that to this, because of what the group wants to achieve is huge. Do you think you can do it? And don't you think you're running a race against time here?
Not at all. We are not running against time. Going by the disposition of Nigerians today and the passion of different groups that assembled yesterday, their commitment to rescue Nigeria from the hands of those who have made it what it is today. So the electorate have learned a very, very bitter lesson. They used to take money, or they have been taking money to vote. And here we are, instead of making progress, people are now just battling to have their lives safe, to have their property safe. And, you know, the protection of life and property of citizens is the primary responsibility of any government. No matter how bad a government is expected at least to protect life and property of its citizens.
Why do you think this group can deliver this?
Yeah, honestly speaking, we are galvanizing, like I told you, from the disposition of Nigerians. They are sick and tired of PDP and APC. All they are looking for now is a political platform that will bring them together, make best use of them in order to kick out both APC and PDP from the realm of governance.
And you see that possible within the next 1 year?
Oh, it's quite possible. And that's why we opted for fusion. Why? Because the process of fusion is very simple. If we had chosen to go for merger, then honestly speaking, I would agree with you that we are running out of time.
Why is this different? Fusion and merger, what's the distinctive difference?
Yes, you know, merger, you have to go through the entire registration process. In fact, it is even more cumbersome than registering a new political party. And for fusion, you have different groups of organizations who are not registered political party. So all they need to do is to have a look at the constitution of the party they want to fuse into, prepare the amendment they want, have a look at the manifesto of the political party, prepare the input they want to make into that political party. Then this thing is agreed between the organizations that are fusing into the registered political party, and then they get registered into the party. And what makes this exercise very convenient and apt is the fact that we clocked 4 years on 16 December last year. National Rescue Movement, the political party that these organizations have agreed to fuse into. So therefore, we have dissolved our executive committees. We have scheduled election from the polling unit level, executive, up to national convention, where we are going to elect national officers of the party. So immediately they register as members of the party, they now participate in all the elections that we are going to do as from 26th of February.
Let me bring in Untitled Chapter. He's also one of those who are putting heads together with this one. Well, Mrs. Untitled Chapter, do you, for instance now, there are Nigerians who will say, well, first we've seen this before, and if you say you've not, some of them will watch and see how can you demonstrate your intent, perhaps with Ekiti and Osun elections. Will that be a fair assessment if they assess the strength or the depth of what this is about from those two elections?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. The reason is that maybe we are a victim of the military mentality that we've grown with, where everything has to be here and now. And perspective planning, long-term planning is never on the table. It is not what we are looking at right now. It would be nice to, but like my brother, distinguished senator, alluded to, in the fusion, but I think he went a little too far. I think we are still in the process of determining the platform so that you don't disenfranchise people who are like coming on. Because somewhere along the line, there may be need for us to determine the name that everybody is comfortable with. Right now we are working on the modalities of checking what the different manifestos should be. People are bringing input so that if you now say we are using this, for instance, the NC Front had initially adopted the ADC, African Democratic Party, Congress, African Democratic Congress, ADC. So, but as we grow together, we are looking at how to open the space and be more inclusive so that if you now start to mention a particular platform now before it is announced, it could disenfranchise others who are thinking in the same direction. But coming to the direct question that you asked, we are looking at 2023. And to that extent, we are looking at all the indices that will make the different fusion components to feel comfortable. And from what we've seen so far, I think I'm extremely comfortable that there will definitely be a shift in 2023. That's why we're not rushing to look at Ekiti or Osun. No. 2023 gives us almost a year, and within 6 months, we would have done everything. And Nigerians are such that if even a month to election, if they can see something to believe in, Nigerians will follow you. So we are being very careful to painstakingly address issues that concern the youth, issues that concern the women, issues that concern the most vulnerable, the physically challenged, the students in particular. We are looking at these different dimensions. We are looking at even the possibility. What do Nigerians want? Do they want direct primaries? If they want direct primaries, how do we put up a system, a structure with technology? We can achieve so much in 1 month, not to talk of 6 months. Time is not out of place. Yes, we could need more time, but let me even tell you a secret in politics. The man in power needs to run a marathon, but the opposition needs to strike a dash, not a marathon. The man in power has the resources, has the capacity, has even the weight of the office to muscle you if he knows early enough what you want to do, to stop you, to break your ranks. So the man in power goes on a marathon, but the man in opposition that wants to take over must always spring a surprise. So he has to go on a dash. So right now we are putting things in place to go on a dash, and the season favors an opposition because people are really sick and tired of being taken for granted. I'll say this before you move on. I listened very carefully to your last segment, and I think Nigerians need to come to understand the difference between governance and politics.
All right. So let's bring this back to Senator. I mean, a lot of Nigerians have seen this cycle time and again when few months to elections, people come up, politicians, and say what essentially people want to hear. I mean, politicians are very brilliant at that. They know what the problems are. They speak to it and sway people. And I imagine that you are looking at what played out with the APC, the merger, or do I call it fusion, 2013, an eventual takeover of power in 2015. But even for that, that was a 2-year space. Now, this is essentially 1 year or even less because political timing is different. But I'd like you to speak to people essentially this morning. What is your platform, that's what you call it, bringing that is different from what the APC has brought or has said, the PDP has brought or has said, because this is a cycle we keep seeing. So what is different? Because to people, politicians are the same.
In fact, that's a very good question. If ultimately National Rescue Movement, NRM, is adopted, you know, at the party to fused in, it is a provision in our constitution that it is an offense for a member of the party to rig election in its favor. This is unique. This is the first time you are having this in a constitution of a political party. Why did we make that provision? It's by the teaching of the Bible and the Holy Quran. Anything illicit, anything fraudulent, anything cheating will be cast by God. Don't be surprised. That's why from 1999 to date, we are having what we are having. You think somebody is credible. You think somebody is competent. But because of the process that brought him into power, which is illicit and fraudulent, God curses whatever policy is put in place, and that's why we are where we are. So therefore, the plan of our National Rescue Movement is that whatever we are going to do, respect for the rule of law is fundamental.
Well, Senator, just a moment before you continue. Speak to this comment attributed to Mr. Peter Obi, who said that we're looking for the wrong, we're actually focusing on the wrong thing as a nation. If we have a vehicle that is defective, that has a dysfunctional engine, and we're looking for a driver to drive that same vehicle, we'll have a problem on our hands. So the question I think my colleague is asking now is, what is going to be significantly different in your approach to governance when indeed the entire structure that several people of your ilk have complained about is faulty and defective? We aren't making any movement forward if we have a dysfunctional engine and we're only looking for a driver.
Now, our engine is well and sound and very effective. Now, National Rescue Movement is the only political party in Nigeria today, in fact from independence, whose structure is up to polling unit level.
Have you won any elections before?
Pardon me, wait. It's up to polling unit level. That's to say, the way we have executive committee at the national level, state, local government, that's how we have executive committee at the polling unit. And for us, the executive committee of the polling unit is more important than the national executive committee because that's where the issue is. Vote, where the votes are. And our members at that level are not less than 20. So, and that polling unit, if we win election, will metamorphose into community-based development association. We are going to register all of them as community-based development association. And under them, we are going to have cooperative societies.
If you win election.
If we win election. And the strategy for winning the election, if we have 10 people as members of the executive committee at the polling unit level, all we need to do when election comes, we assign every one of them to recruit 10 people to vote for NRM, to vote for the presidential candidate. And that will give you 200 votes per polling unit. If you calculate 200 votes per polling unit, to the number of polling units we have in the country, no presidential candidate or no president had ever won such number of votes. That's the strategy for winning the election. Number two, if we transform the polling unit into community-based development association, and under it, cooperative societies, all these loans that are being given will be channeled directly to this cooperative society. And therefore, they will become vehicles for rural and economic development. This is something very unique.
This is a strategy we call bait and switch.
Yes.
If you win elections on a certain strategy, you switch to something else. But has your party won any election at any level before?
Of course, yes.
Which one?
Sit at House Assembly seat
Which state?
in the first state.
Which year?
2019 election. Remember, it's a new party. We were registered in December 2017. You understand? And don't forget, there are parties who are registered before the registration. For 20 years, they had never won even a councillor seat. And what makes us attractive is the conglomeration of many organizations that are coming to form the third force. Remember, Nigerians have been yearning for third force that will wrestle power from PDP and APC. Like I told you earlier on, Nigerians are sick and tired. People have come to believe that if you are relying on PDP or APC, these two so-called almighty political parties, you never fix Nigeria.
Okay, Senator, one moment. Let me take this to Mr. Nyetok Ezekiel. And I mean, Senator has spoken quite well about the plan, which looks good on paper, as you'll expect. But, I mean, we've just finished the AFCON and we see the tactics that they talk about. But when it's time to play the match, you know, things happen. But the conglomeration Senator talks about, help us understand. So we know what the APC is. We know what the PDP is. For your third force, incidentally, we spoke with someone last week who says that, well, he's also a part of the third force, so I wonder if he's a part of this third force. But what do you bring to bear? How much of force, how much of human capital do you have that you want to contend against the APC and the PDP, essentially?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to make a very clear clarification so that it becomes easier for us to understand where we're coming from. First, I'm a Board of Trustees member of ADC, African Democratic Congress. And for me this morning, I'm not here on the platform of a party. I'm on the platform of the coalition that we are putting together, looking at the challenges, proffering solutions, and will eventually one day take a decision on which direction to go. Now, that said, let me come directly to the question that you've asked. There's a mindset reset that we need to have as a people in this country. The first is that politicians are extremely good at their game. They've read us like a book, so they give us narratives to follow. My brother, just look at this. We have almost 75 million youths. Number one. Number two, we have certain programs like Big Brother, where you have over 30, 40 million youths that vote. Yet, Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria won his election with less than 16 million votes. I want to tell you that over 25 million votes of the youth can be activated overnight. Overnight. And I say this with every sense of responsibility. Not to talk of you and I, that don't, okay, not to talk of myself, not you. You belong to that grade. I'm 58, so definitely not youth, okay? Not to talk of this group of people added to it. All we need is to see sincerity of purpose. All the youths need is to know that there is a situation that includes them, that thinks about them, that cares about them. And these are the things that we're being very careful to profile and
All right,
bring them on board.
Gentlemen, just give us a moment. We'll go to break, and when we return, we'll get your concluding comments. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. It's our concluding moments with the gentleman here in the studio. Well, Senator, look, notwithstanding how Hashimi won the State Assembly seat in Zamfara State, I know you know that many have argued that, well, is it because that the court ruling for Zamfara State, APC, the votes cast were wasted, and so certain things happen in certain ways. But yes, your NRM got one seat in that assembly. So is it that you're using that template or just that one seat, trying to use it to spread across the country and then hoping to win elections? And by the way, are you getting politicians from other political parties to come and fill this, or is this strictly new people coming through with this one?
No, honestly speaking, there are many politicians, but like mine. You know?
From where? People who have been to APC and PDP,
Sure.
or who left APC and PDP to come to this one?
Sure. And those who apply not to leave PDP and APC. There are many of them. You'll be surprised in the next 2-3 weeks, the caliber.
Why do you need them? I thought you said this is a new movement.
Yeah, why we need them, you know, in any setting, you have bad eggs and you have credible elements. So we have been talking to credible members of these two political parties to come and join us, drawing the attention to the fact that where they are now is not where they belong.
Are there any such as credible members of those political parties?
Yes, there are. There are no doubt about that. In any setting, no matter how bad it is, there must be some credible element. There's no doubt about that. And there are those that we have been talking to for the last, in fact, 3 years. And they are coming out. Within the next 2-3 weeks, you'll be surprised about the big names you will hear that will join us.
How do you define, pardon me, big names? Well, what does that mean, big names?
No,
does that mean
people at the
governors,
level,
senators, or what
yeah,
does
people at the level of senators, people at the level of former governors, people at the level of even presidential aspirants.
All right, Mr. Nyeto, closing moments now. The question many people will be asking is, are we even raising the right issues, the correct issues with people that will draw them to even be interested in the issues that concern their lives? Are we addressing the right issues?
Thank you. I think that's one of the most important questions. We've been driving narratives that are absolutely irrelevant. The issue is we have a country where we are on life support. We have a country that has forgotten the basics, the most fundamental, as captured in the Constitution, Chapter 2, Section 14, subsection 2B, that says that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. We are leaving that, and we're talking politics. We're coming back to address these fundamentals. I want to really thank the women and men of conscience who have decided to put their resources, their time, their energies to say, no, this country cannot continue the way it's going. If I perish, I perish. But I'll rather die trying than keep quiet and resign myself to fate. No, we're not doing that. So we're coming together. And luckily for us, we have the critical mass. That's why, like today, we are being very careful to let people know we are driving a narrative that is not concluded yet. We are driving a narrative that we are bringing them in. We are opening the space for the youth to come in. We are opening the space for the women, the physically challenged, to come and put their narrative. That's why we've put up a committee. In the next 30 days, I'm privileged to be one of that committee. We are going to network and give Nigerians a believable structure. That's why I don't want us to focus on our parties, whether it is ADC or no. Let's focus on the big picture of Nigerians coming together to put in place a system, a structure that will rescue this nation. And I think that rather than doubt, I think everybody at this point should say amen. If you mean well for this country, come on board. I want to thank Labour for sending their leadership. And the statements they made yesterday were extremely reassuring. We want to thank the civil societies who have said the way that we're able to come together and put pressure on this electoral bill amendment. Let us also come together and put structures and systems on a particular system that we
All right,
can
Mr.
believe in
Ezekiel,
and drive people.
we need to wrap up at this point. So I'm sure many will be looking to see how this eventually plays out. They'll be looking to see if this will field any big-name politician, maybe
No, we don't want big names. No, please. We're not on big-name politicians.
Who knows?
We are on the people getting what they want, not big-name politicians.
All right, we'll watch and see, and we'll wish both of you all the best as you go about this. Senator Seydou Dansada is the National Chairman, National Rescue Movement. He's a two-time senator of Zamfara State. We also I've had Nyanto Kisiko, Director General, Nigeria First Project. So we're back in just a moment. We'll turn our attention to sports. Don't go away.